Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. So good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's happening?
I'm good. If you're listening now, I'm in Australia.
Foggy. I was gonna. I was gonna try and do an Australian. Good day, mate.
Okay, I think that's right.
Shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably hate when people say that stuff there.
I'll
Koala bear.
let you know.
Nor. That's how they say no.
I'll have to FaceTime
Yeah.
you in so you can annoy everyone.
Yeah, when you're
around
checking in to the hotel, I'll do the check-in.
Yes, I'll have you do it. I'll just FaceTime you in too.
Right, we'll take a room with the Bobby.
Exactly.
That's amazing. You're going to Australia.
I'm excited. It's one of my bucket list trips.
I'm with you on that bucket list. That's great.
I want to hold a koala or pet a kangaroo or some shit. I don't know if you're allowed to do that these days.
Yeah, I think they give you one at the airport while you wait for your
Right?
bag. Just like, here.
I
hold
want to
this.
do all the lame touristy things that
Absolutely.
that
Do you think
are
people
there.
say that about them? I guess people do say that
I
about
want to go to
America.
I want to go to the Empire State Building. Like
Right.
I've never been to the Empire State Building.
But you have no urge. But a koala bear, yes.
Yes. Have
Yeah.
you been to the Empire State Building?
I have.
Okay.
I've been there.
Well, I guess you're
It's
not
fine.
from here.
Yeah, right. I can't. When I came on my first weekend in New York,
Right.
I put on my Statue of Liberty crown. And then I went to the Empire State Building, and I had a coney.
A Coney.
Or Coney, the Coney's not even here.
A Coney 2012.
I'm sorry, I'm off. what a poll. Who remembers Coney 2012?
When you said Coney, it immediately.
I was thinking of like a Nathan's hot dog, but
Oh, is that what it's called?
In the Midwest, they call them Conies.
Okay, like a Coney Island.
Yeah, Coney
Oh,
Island.
okay, that makes sense.
So in the Midwest, they have Conies, which are hot dogs with slop on them with onion,
Mm-hmm.
chili and shit, and they call them Conies, and they don't even have them here.
Okay,
They're named after here.
that's funny.
It's
Wow.
weird, yeah.
So it's like a local thing. It's a
Right.
Very touristy thing. To say.
There's a lot of levels. It's like looking into a mirror,
Right.
7,000 in a mirror.
Yeah.
I'm off. I'm sorry.
Well, you
I
said
came
you're
in.
annoyed. Who are you annoyed
Well, I came in late. I was
okay.
on time. You know when you're gonna be on time?
Yeah.
And then the world comes at
and
you.
you get a coffee?
I walk in. I waltz in with a coffee. I mean, I don't want to
say
show
I'm-
the name on YouTube, but I mean, it's.
Was it a boutique coffee spot that doesn't have mobile ordering and a?
Here comes Jordana's Starbucks pitch.
That's my issue with boutique coffee places. It's like they're doing the swirl and the latte art.
Right.
It's like just give me the fucking coffee. I have somewhere to go.
You're right. A lot of swirls.
Yeah.
A lot of artwork. I go to this one place to eat breakfast every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I can time this perfectly. There was no line. I go,
Okay,
I'll order I get an Americano. Here's my order.
let's hear it.
This is
In
what
case
people
anyone
tune
ever
in.
wants to send Jared a coffee.
Right. And in case you guys don't like that we run a little long in the beginning,
Yes.
let me waste
We're
your
gonna-
time a little more with my coffee order.
Let's
This
hear
is
it.
why people tune into the U Up podcast. I get an Americano
Okay.
short, so I want a small Americano, but I want and I say to them, half as much water as you would usually use it. Americano is just
stronger.
espresso with water, so I want half as much. Little bit of sugar-free vanilla. This is exactly how I say it to the barista too. I'm not annoying at all.
Okay.
Little bit of vanilla, sugar-free, and that's it. And then so I go up and I'm like, I can get it now. There's no line. I'll order the Uber
Okay.
all at the same time. So I order the Uber. I go up there. I order it. They go, great. They know me there. They go, great. All set. I pay. And then they're just hanging out. They're like, next. And I'm like, hold on. We got to get going here. No one starts up the
they're
coffee.
just taking their time. Yeah.
There's just
That's because they're not publicly traded like Starbucks.
got no investors to keep happy. So I'm watching this, and then my Uber leaves.
Oh, that's annoying.
So I got to get a new Uber. I'm
And then
charged
now you're waiting. You got $5 charge.
$5 charge and waiting.
Yeah.
And then getting up
What's
here,
your Uber score?
it's pretty good.
Okay.
I
I guess they don't ding you for that. They just charge you.
Yeah, I guess I'm paying to keep the stars.
Yeah.
Because if I had gone there at the last second, sorry, they'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, fuck you, we'll get you.
2 stars.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, you walk in late to somewhere you assumed you were going to be early, and then I'm like texting you, I'm sorry, I'm late, with coffee in hand. So I have to admit to
Yes.
that this is all
You couldn't
my
blame
fault.
the train.
Couldn't blame the train, couldn't blame the traffic, couldn't blame it. Oh, I have to throw this away.
Listen,
So
I'm
that I can
usually the
lie.
one who's late.
It's okay. I
I'm
don't
not
care.
worried.
Lateness doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. I'm not one of. Are you a person that's like late? If you're late,
If I'm late, it
personally
doesn't
offending
bother me. If other people,
Fair,
no,
fair.
to me, it depends on the. I think everything is situational, right?
Right.
If I've got somewhere to be, I don't like lateness. If I have a relaxed day in front of me, it's very annoying.
Right. I guess that's yeah.
I hate delayed flights. Hate it.
You hate them.
Hate it.
See, I was just thinking about this. Delayed flights. Sometimes I'm like, good. I got nowhere else to be. This is
Oh,
what's
that's
going.
nice.
Especially on the way home. Like if it's no. I guess on the way home from a Sunday where I have nothing else to do. I guess it's all dependent on my life.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It's
Where
total
do you-
narcissism. Yeah.
Where do you have to go? Where do
Right.
you have to be?
Sometimes I get delayed on the way home and I go, that's it. It's a wash. Eat everything, drink everything. Let's get fucked up in this airport. Like I kind of like see it as a gift from the heavens of like time
Oh, that's nice.
to like do whatever you want to do and eat and sit on your phone and no one, you don't have to do it. You don't have to make a doctor's appointment. You don't have to do any, you don't have to like, do the work. You can you are in no man's land of time. Like it doesn't even exist.
That's very optimistic of you. I like that.
I was just at this coffee place and I was staring at. Do you have this where you go to places every day, but you eat like healthy or healthy-ish, and then you stare at some of the other items and you go, one day I'm gonna come back here
And get what? Like the
and
donut?
everything.
Okay.
I have that thought with the pizza place downstairs.
What do you get that's healthy from you got a salad?
No, I just walk by it every day.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? There's a bunch of them in the city. What's it called? No, the pizza place downstairs. Tapo, Crusto, Zono. They have like a bunch of like-named places.
Domino's.
Ever tell you my Domino story?
Domino's?
Domino's? I've never been more upset in my entire life. Did I tell that on the podcast?
I think you did. It was like with your friend or your cousin.
My buddy,
Your
like one of my
okay.
best friends, I go to visit him in Chicago, and I love to late night eat, and the whole night he's going, we're getting late night food. Don't worry, I got the best place. Domino's. It is the best place in town. Oh my God, wait till you have Domino's. They have these breadsticks. Oh my God, Domino's. We got to get Domino's. And even his girlfriend, now wife, is sitting there going, oh, we got to get Domino's. Oh my God. She was like, oh my God, I've never been to this place. I don't know what he's even talking about. Oh my God. And then we get to like 2 a.m. He goes, Domino's? And we're like, what?
Were they playing? Was he playing a joke?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we were like, well, now we have to get Domino's. We
very
ordered
funny.
so much fucking Domino's.
Domino's is great. I love Domino's.
Fantastic. Do you watch?
It's like the Starbucks of pizza.
I totally agree. Do you watch Chef's Table or something? David Chang.
I heard about this where
Yeah.
he's saying he likes Domino's or something. The guy with the nice.
He's a
restaurant.
chef, and
Yeah.
he was like, he doesn't consider Domino's pizza, but it's good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
What's
get that.
pizza?
Yeah, whatever. I get what he's saying. Like,
Sure,
it's his
yeah.
way out of douchery opinions back to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like you could make really high quality television and love like The Bachelor.
Right.
It doesn't mean.
I mean, it's
for what it is.
For what it is. You can like reading books
Right.
and like The Bachelor too. You know,
Yeah.
like you can like entertainment that's smarter.
Yes, we're versatile here at
That's
the
right.
podcast.
What is going on here at Betches? Anything?
We're all very excited for your show. By this time, it'll be out. It won't be out to the public, but it'll be over. The recording will be over.
It'll be over. I want to thank everyone who came. I want to thank everyone who wrote me nice messages. I want to thank everyone who came to all the workout shows. You came to a workout show.
Yes. It made me even more excited for this week. It's going to be an amazing show.
You gave a great note. It was very helpful.
Oh, good.
So it was very helpful. So it's, I'm hopeful. I got to stay optimistic. I think it'll be fun. I have a lot of material that I'm like getting down.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a show. So so I'm pre-thanking everybody because I'm assuming it'll be great.
You're
and fun.
anticipating, yeah.
I'm anticipating greatness.
Otherwise, it's going to be an awkward episode to air.
Hey.
There's a-
Hey guys, I want to retract a statement.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. You're issuing a public apology.
Right, notes section.
Um,
What's going on with you?
I told you I'm in Australia.
You're in
what's going on
Australia.
with
I
you?
mean, and no, but I'm saying oversharing
Oh,
is great
yeah,
and
what do
everyone
I-
loves it.
What am I bringing to Plug City?
Yeah, Plug City.
I'm bringing oversharing to Plug City. You guys get the U Up crew. Check out the U Up podcast YouTube. You know all the things that we have going on.
all the normal stuff, but also the You Up with benefits. I just want to mention
yes.
the amount.
Did you get
I've
a lot of
gotten
messages?
over 40.
Wow,
I know we
that's a lot.
have a number
I've
policy
gotten
here.
none, so
None?
that's big.
Well, they go in tandem. Like we did last month's You Up with benefits.
Right.
It was you and I discussed our lists of our
Yes.
perfect partner, so to speak.
Right.
The messages I have gotten, people are like, I mean,
How do they feel? Are they upset about your preferences?
no, like
that
they're
was
like,
what you're worried about.
I was worried about that, but there was a lot of like, I'm making my own list now.
that's
I'm
great.
laughing so hard. This is so fun. This is so, like, I walked away from taping those You Up with benefits. Usually the You Up with benefits are like, we talk
All
about
anxiety
it,
inducing, yeah.
stress. This was like a vacation. We were dancing.
Having fun.
It is, if you're going to get in now because, prices change. The price of milk has gone up. So
Yes.
things may change there too. Hint, hint, maybe coming. We will see.
We will see.
But get in now, subscribe to it. It's just, so many nice people just entertained. Like
Okay,
the people
good.
are entertained. I
Yes.
love that. That's why we do this show. This is an entertainment show. I'm going to be on the road entertaining people.
Let's hear it.
If you're in San Diego, coming for New Year's Eve,
Ooh.
the whole weekend. If you're in Houston, Dallas, Toronto, I just added a 4th show. Toronto people
Wow.
are going nuts.
Toronto's great city.
Great
city
city.
for this show too.
Great city. They were fun. I remember when we did You Up Live, it was just like a
great.
fun, lively crowd. I'm coming to Vancouver
Ooh.
on the day after the worst day of the year.
Wow. Okay. So
February
the
22nd.
Okay. February 22nd.
So we'll be out of the horror that is the worst day
It's
of the
only
year.
going to get better after that. So you guys should come
Right.
out to the show. Vancouver. We did a show in Vancouver too. That was a
Right.
good show.
We did a good show.
You should go to Whistler.
I should do some things. Maybe that will be how I spend my birthday.
Yeah.
I'll go to Whistler.
Yeah. Ride out the worst day.
I'll ride it out.
Yeah.
I'll cry while I go down the mountain.
That's my impression of hearing you cry. And then are you going away next week? You're going to Boca?
I think I'm gonna go to Boca.
That's great.
I think so. I think it's time.
I feel like you're gonna go to Boca so much that you eventually might just stay.
You'd be like, we're doing remote again.
What?
Yeah, I live here now.
I can see that.
I've become a part of the community. I'm on the
You're
board.
gonna be the Ryan Atwood of the community
Who's Ryan Atwood?
from the OC. He lives in his parents. He lives in someone's pool house.
Oh, that's okay. I was never got into OC.
Oh,
I missed
it's
that
okay.
bus, and sadly, because it seems like people loved it.
It was a great show.
Good
Iconic.
for Jews during this time of anti-Semitism in the air.
Yeah.
The OC was like, weren't they a Jewish family?
They were Sandy Cohen.
Sandy
Seth
Cohen.
Seth Cohen.
They made Jews hot for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. What's his name? Adam Brody.
Adam Brody brought the heat for Jews.
Great for the Jews.
We always love a hot Jew. Jews love famous hot Jews.
But hot in the way that like a Jewish guy would be hot.
right.
which
We
is,
don't
like,
have to take it away from him.
kind of nerdy. Yes.
Like a loser.
Like into comic books hot.
Yeah. No,
Right,
listen,
yeah.
he was nebbish,
Yeah.
but we had a hot
yeah.
one.
Yeah, we did. He was big, I assume. Anyway, let's get into our episode,
I
shall
don't
we?
care what Kanye says about Adam Brody. I think he's hot.
Don't give him any ideas.
Right.
Leave Adam Brody alone.
Let's get to the show. Some people think we vamped too long. I think this was the perfect amount of
I agree.
pre-show
We had
banter.
14 and a half minutes, the
Right.
clock says.
You you've only hit the 30-second ahead button 17 times. So
Welcome.
Let's do it. Today these emails get depthy.
Oh, yeah.
This is a depthy
A
episode.
lot of girth.
Girthy.
Yes.
That's, unlike the penis we'll hear about later.
Exactly. Okay, I'll read this one.
Okay.
J&J, Feather, thank you all at Betches for bringing us honest and hilarious content twice a week. Your loyal benefits Betch is here for some constructive feedback
2 times.
and benefits. My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 25 female, have been going on dates for about 2 months and just defined our relationship. We are now officially dating. Yay.
Woo! Fire off the fireworks, people. They're dating.
It's a fish.
Call your mom.
It's time for the hard lunch.
That's right.
We initially met as friends because we are both studying opera, LOL, in the same grad school.
Me. How do you study opera?
You're like fine tuning your voice, I think.
So they're singing, they're not studying the history of it.
I assume so. It feels like, because they say later in the email they'll talk about rehearsals. So
Ah,
I assume
yeah,
it's
you're
like
right.
they're in opera school.
Okay.
What could
Da
be,
da 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 da. Ha 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 ha.
is that an opera song?
Is
Oh, yeah,
it?
yeah.
Is
I think
it?
it is. I think it is.
That's what it is? Wow, Jorge, out of
Yeah,
left
that was
field.
impressive.
What a pull. Knew the name. What is it called? La Donna Immobile.
You know who I love? Andrea Bocelli.
Bocelli.
Yeah, he's very good.
Do you listen? Is that a Spotify? You'll hit it?
Not like frequently, but if
Every
it
now
comes-
and again.
Yeah, great song.
Do you have those moments where you're like walking along, you're like, give me some classical
Classical,
piano?
100%. Yeah.
I do that
I
sometimes
find it
too.
very. You know when I love it, as as the plane is taking off, I find it to be extremely soothing.
Whoa, living in your own movie.
Exactly.
I totally get that.
It's a great move. I highly recommend it.
I do that
And
sometimes
Landing.
with Alanis Morissette
Oh yeah, which song?
as we take off. You know, I
And
start crying.
That soothes you.
I don't know. Something about it puts me in a place.
I could see someone writing that about you.
Right. What is it? Oh, wasn't it about Dave Coulier?
Yeah.
Uncle Joey.
Yeah.
She blew him in a restaurant. All right.
Was that in the song?
Right? That's his line in the song. She blew him
Oh, in a theater.
in a theater.
Does she go down on you in a theater?
Right. And it's such a random line. It doesn't rhyme with anything else. She just wanted to get it in there. You kind of feel like.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Great song.
Man, musicians
Best breakup
have it
song.
so fucking good.
Why?
They can just sing about anything and people go, and people are dancing.
Yeah.
And then we're just cool. Like she said she blew fucking Uncle Joey in a theater.
Well,
No one was like, oh my God, Uncle
It's-
Joey.
it's a song, so it's like it's not like she's saying it
Right.
like fact.
No, when I say a joke on stage and it's like too truthful, people are
Right.
like,
What
whoa,
did you
shut
do?
the fuck up.
Yeah.
If I was like, I blew Uncle Joey in a theater, they'd be like, that's not funny. Wait, tell us more of the story.
That's true.
Right,
Different medium.
right.
Good medium.
Yeah, it just shows you the brain works in different ways.
Okay, so they're both studying opera in the same grad school. We have known each other since this past August. In October, I asked him to get coffee with me as just a friend, and then after about a week, saw him on Bumble and swiped right on him. He also swiped right, and we started going on dates. The dates were usually daytime because we have evening rehearsals. Again, I assume.
There it is.
I imagine like them singing to each other. It's kind of fun.
Do you love me from that Tinder swipe? That could be the song.
We'll have to ask her which song they used. And having a pretty similar vibe to our first coffee as friends. We've seen each other a few times a week since then and always talk about music in school, but our conversations have not really gotten super deep or romantic. I've expressed that I feel a need for more significant communication, and he said that this is something he has been told in previous relationships and is working on. But I don't really see him putting in effort to change his actions so far. I also acknowledge that I can be anxious in general, and it is hard for me to switch topics of conversation from something really light and friendly to deeper. I'm also very inexperienced in dating, and it feels unnatural for me to be super romantic, even though I want that in a relationship. How do we break out of the habit of communication that we established as friends and start talking to each other with more affection? How can we make this transition from friends to partners work? I feel a need for more intimacy, although we have slept together, but I don't know how to initiate it without feeling weird. Any advice would be so appreciated. Sincerely, a romance-starved bitch.
This is an interesting email because it causes me to assume a lot of things about this person emailing in. I don't know how you felt when you read it.
I had some assumptions. What were yours?
That they're immature, that they're young.
Yeah,
and I mean this in like a nice way,
Right.
that any 25-year-old's immature.
Well,
like,
when I hear that, they've seen each other in class, no one's made a move, and then they swiped in order to like confirm interest.
Right.
To me, that says young, because I think that's more how very young people date.
I'd even give that. There's people dating that way just in life.
Right.
I mean, the apps give you that tool to like not have to take a chance.
Right.
But I think what you're saying is right. Like the young part about it is like, well, we were friends. You were never fucking friends.
Yeah.
This whole
they saw
friends
each other
thing.
around.
Yeah, and you asked him to coffee as friends, and he went out because he's attracted to you, and you asked him out because you're attracted to him.
Yeah.
So this idea that you were like just a couple of chums hanging out at coffee is just like kind of ridiculous to me, but I
Right.
understand why it's going on.
But it's interesting. They're actually not that young. He's 27. She's
Right.
25. So it's like, but maybe because you're in school, it kind of gives it a younger feel.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of I guess I've been in this position as a guy.
Okay.
That, and these are assumptions from my perspective. When she writes all these things she wants
Romance.
romance, she wants,
Deep conversation.
deep conversations. She wrote, we're in a relationship, yay. When she wrote we're in a relationship and wrote yay, and I know she was probably tongue in cheek a little bit,
Yeah.
but like that
Caught
tells
him.
me everything. You're going to the goal. She cares about got the relationship. Okay, I have that word. I think she says a lot of words that she doesn't know what they mean to her.
Right.
And this happens a lot because this is something, I just don't talk about this with my friends a lot. Like, I want the romance. I want the, like, I'm like, dudes, we go out and dates and she just never, we don't communicate enough. Like I've never had that conversation with friends. And I think women have these conversations all the time.
Yeah.
So you're almost like talking like you're level 17, but you're actually level 1. Like, I don't think this person knows what they want. Like, because they put it all, they're hoping to be led by this 27-year-old.
Well, she's also not saying like what she actually does like romantically about him.
Right.
So it's kind of like she's like, where's the romance? It's like you might not actually feel that like it might not be, there might not be any.
Right. And that means that to me that she doesn't know what that means to her. She doesn't know. She wants him to be like, to do romance.
Right.
And he's like, this is who I am and what I know how to do. And she's like, well, what are we doing now? And he's like, this is what I do. Like, I'm not giving him, I'm not absolving him. Like, he's 27 and he should say, there's a point where it's like, hey, dude, I know you have rehearsal, but like, let's go on a date. Let's go get
Right.
drinks. Let's have a different thing. But he's not doing that. And she doesn't know enough to go, I'm not attracted to him not doing that.
Right. Instead, she's like, how do I get him to do that?
Right.
Instead of like you said, like, I'm not feeling a romantic connection.
Right. It's romantic connection to her. She doesn't even know what the fuck that means. Based on this email.
I think I think she actually has a sense for what that means. It's because she says she wants like a deeper, intimate conversation. It sounds like she wants him to like make the relationship more. Maybe she wants him to hold her hand. Maybe she wants him to like, have some sort of like non-platonic interaction.
That may be the case, but at some point when he's like, let's get coffee again, like, and then go fuck.
Right.
Because that's, she kind of has to say, well, that's not what I want anymore.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the main point is that she should own what she wants. And if he's saying that's not who I've gotten that feedback before, that's not who I am, then maybe he's not for you.
Right.
Sounds like, and that's a good thing to learn. Like, okay, this guy was like pretty good on paper, extremely convenient. This relationship sounds extremely convenient. They're both in this grad school.
Right.
They go to rehearsals.
They
at the
swipe
same
right
time.
on Tinder at each
right.
other, so they know they're attracted.
Yeah,
so
they
like
have
that's
mutual interests, but
right.
that doesn't necessarily equate to like a sexual chemistry or like, again, if that's what she's looking for in a relationship. So to me, it's like, how do we make this transition from friends to partners? You weren't like that good friends that should be that hard. I think she's blaming the fact that they were like not immediately in a romantic path, which I get it. But I mean, again, that's just a way for her to find out later that maybe he's just not her type.
Right. It is funny like to lean on like, well, I guess we're having this. It's the friends to lovers thing. It's not the. No, we're not a match.
Right.
Like it's everything but, because again, going back to in a relationship, yay.
Yes.
It's like,
got it.
If that's what if you're going, I'm in a relationship, yeah. And you have nothing else to say.
Right, but we don't have any deep conversations and we don't vibe and but how do it's like, she's like, to me, it sounds like I got the relationship.
Right.
Now, how do I make it a relationship that I want?
Right. It's a reverse order of
Right.
things. Yeah.
She's like, I caught it.
Right.
Now, how do I mold it into something that I would date?
Right. How do
And I think a lot of women do work like that. I think that in my mind, I probably used to do a lot of stuff like that too. It's like I can work with this. Like, let me like, if I have the land, I can build whatever I want. But
Well, I mean, more destructively, like it sounds, I could see someone being like, well, you're letting this guy off the hook. I'll say this. It's not great that guys kind of do that with sex. I'll bed the woman.
and then I'll figure it out.
And then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's more destructive. I agree. This is, so it kind of sounds like, the fact that they're going to coffee and they have slept together and have no romantic connection conversations other than school. You're like, how do you get to the bed together?
And and then how did they agree to be in a relationship? Like who's like thought that was a great idea?
Yeah, we're coming down hard on the emailer, but like this guy's kind of like just following things
You
along.
just fell into, this is like the definition of just falling into a relationship to me, it sounds, because it doesn't sound like there's that much there for either of you.
Well, it sounds like one person who really wants a boyfriend and then
the other
another
guy who's
person.
like,
Sure. Yeah. And it's like, listen, I got, we don't have a lot of time at night to meet anyone new. I'm singing all the time.
But here's what I do think. I think if she does, and I understand the urge to be like, okay, caught it. Let's see if I can make it work.
Right.
If you want to try that, she says she's vocalized it. Doesn't sound like he's doing much. You could try to set up a more romantic setting. That's what they do on The Bachelor to make people who would never like each other normally wind up falling completely head over heels for each other. Find a romantic go to some romantic restaurants, plan something like kind of like hot. Do something that try to facilitate a deeper conversation in an organic way.
Totally agree. Also be a little difficult. Like she writes that she's anxious, and I think that's from like inexperience that you're like, well, you haven't, losing someone that isn't for you isn't losing.
Right.
So it's
helpful for finding the next person, because now when she's dating other people, she'll look out for that, like, oh, I like a guy that is kind of like holding my hand or like touching me or like feels like has a deeper conversation. That's a means to finding the relationship that is a match for you.
Right. And it's so funny. She wrote something kind of specific, like that I can be anxious in general, and it's hard for me to switch topics of conversations from something really light and friendly to deeper. Like she's speaking so hypothetically. That's not, I understand she wants deeper conversations, but like, okay, work was fun today. Now let's talk about your
childhood.
Like right? Like I don't know if that's what I know that's what she thinks she wants, but I agree with you. The setting will present that.
Right.
The setting will make things a little hotter, a little deeper, a little different, a little depthier.
Yeah, or share with him something that you think is deep and then see how he responds. That's a great way to find out if that's possible.
I have done that. I've gotten back, me too.
Well, then
And then I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, this isn't really, I'm not getting that, the back and forth that I'm looking for at this level of the relationship. And that's when you know to kind of pull back and maybe you end things, or maybe you go in a different direction. I would even say to her, here's the text I sent. I can give her the text.
Let's hear it.
Hey, I really want to get dinner with you. Let me know what nights are free for you, and let's make something happen. That's all you say.
Yeah.
And
Take it
now,
from there.
and then if he can't make that happen, if he's like, no, I have alto practice. I'm
doing Ave Maria next week.
Got a big Ave Maria conference coming up. Now you know. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Or he makes dinner. Oh, we're in school. We don't have a lot of money. Get slices of pizza. Sit outside. How nice is that?
You can create romance with very little. Go to a park.
Yeah.
Something cute.
Let's do some awkward sex.
Yeah.
This one is thorough.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we have cards that Maddie makes, and they're wonderful cards, Maddie. We love the cards.
The copy and pasting is
It brings me
excellent.
Back to fifth grade projects of this is a 4-page card. I mean, these are 4-carder.
Oh, yeah. This is a long, awkward sex. And there's texts.
So here we go. You ready?
Yes.
I absolutely live for the awkward sex portion of the podcast. Wanted to share with you an absolutely ridiculous thing that happened to me a few years back. I was straight out of undergrad and decided to move across the country without knowing anyone, as many do in their early 20s. I had been in town scoping out apartments and decided to open Tinder to see what I was going to be working with when I arrived, and to make some local connections for when I officially made the move. Because what better way to make new friends than on an app that's designed for you to find a fuck buddy, right?
Sure.
I matched with this guy who was super cute, tall, cute, PhD student at UNC. So smart, or so I thought. We hit it off right away. We continued chatting until I moved a few weeks later and set up a date for when I officially headed to the area. Flash forward a couple weeks, me and Matt, we're going to call him Matt because that was his name. Okay.
Way to protect the innocent.
Right.
Yeah.
Dr. Matt. Meet up and have a really fun date. Drinks, food, a parking lot makeout sesh. What's not to love? I thought I hit the lottery. So when he asked me to come over a few days later, I thought, what do I have to lose? I went to Matt's apartment a few days later so we could hang out at his pool, which we did. It was really hot. So naturally, he suggested we go inside to cool off, which was fine with me.
I don't know why that's in quotes.
Right. You did want to literally cool off.
Yeah.
He informed me his roommate was making tacos in the kitchen, so it'd have to be in his room, which is fine.
Doesn't make any sense. He must be alone when he makes the tacos.
Right. I fully saw where this is going and was totally cool with it. He suggested we Netflix and chill, and we headed upstairs. When we get there, he informs me that he doesn't have Netflix, written in all caps,
Okay.
and turns on well, first of all, Netflix and chill is kind of like a...
It's like a word for TV. And
Yeah, we're just going to sit and chill. I'm okay with saying
Does he
Netflix.
have Hulu,
Right.
HBO Max?
Something.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix and chill is
That's not deceptive to me.
right. Not
You
to
don't
me
even
at all.
have a subscription.
We're not watching Game of Thrones, or that's not even a
on
Netflix
HBO.
show.
So he turns on a Family Feud.
Okay, that he doesn't have Netflix and turns on a Family Feud marathon. So keep in mind, this entire story takes place with Steve Harvey in the background. Show me Netflix. Are you a Family Feud?
I love Family Feud.
Love
I want to
the
be on
feud.
Family Feud. That would be my dream.
I would love. I want to go on. I'll be in the family. I'm in.
Yeah. Same.
I
We
want
should
to
do-
go. I want on
If
this
anyone
show.
is listening, I don't know what channel produces it.
Podcast Family Feud.
That'd be great.
They do versions like that.
They do all sorts of stuff. I love Celebrity Family Feud.
I love Family Feud. I love Steve Harvey.
love it all.
Steve Harvey, like if I'm sent a Steve Harvey video, I'm like, oh, hold on. Let me sit down. Let me get the headphones on. Like I prepare myself to laugh.
Legend.
King of comedy.
Is he?
He was one of the Kings of Comedy, that DVD that would run around
Right.
back in the day.
And you
Cedric
were
the Entertainer,
the prince of
the Lord of Board.
Lord of Boards. So you're
So-
all royals. You should
right.
hang out.
I sit down in his bed, and pretty soon after he puts his arm around me and we start making out, we ended up taking off our bathing suits. What a visual.
Wet bathing suit.
Wet bathing suit in bed. And he goes down on me for like a long time, maybe 20 minutes. Ooh,
Good amount of time.
gentleman. I was like, sweet. I'm about to have a very fun and flirty time here. Can't wait. When he comes up for air, I notice his ween is still entirely flaccid. Well, that's okay.
Sure.
Guy goes down and you comes up with a flaccid ween. I'm not
This
really.
one's for her.
Yeah. And also, like, you can still be into it and be flaccid.
Okay, that's good to know.
You know, like, you can still, you know.
I mean, I assume he's into it. Why else would he invite her to the room?
Right. What are you checking boners to make sure that he enjoyed? No worries. Maybe cunnilingus isn't his jam. See, that's an unfair assessment to me.
Well, she's saying maybe that just doesn't get him off.
Well, I don't know a lot of guys that are like coming their pants from when they go down on a, like,
That's good to know too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let me try some stuff and see where it goes, she says. Some time goes by and I've tried everything. Licking his squishy member.
I really don't like the way all the different words she uses for penis.
Well, that's maybe why I'm a little put off. Like, I'm like, it's okay to not be full fucking chub
It's squishy member.
Squishy member.
There's more. It gets.
Kissing.
There's more.
There's more. Kissing all over. Show me squishy member. It's like she played Family Feud with
the penis names.
5 names
Name
for a
five
penis.
Other word. Name another word for a penis.
Show me ween. Let me try some stuff, see where it goes. Sometimes goes by and I've tried everything. Licking his squishy member, kissing all over, dirty talk. I felt bad and kept asking him what he liked, but he reassured me it wasn't his fault.
I assume she meant my fault.
Right. Finally, right when I was about to give up, he changed his mind and said there was something I could do. He told me, I like to dominate my women. Can I dominate you?
To me, this is the point of this is where he was going the whole time, headed the whole time.
Oh, really? This
Right?
was like, I guess, you know.
You can't just start. This is a Tinder meetup. He's not just starting with that. So he's like, all right, I'm going to go down on her.
Right.
Let her try some stuff. It's obviously not going to work.
I'll be soft.
I have an idea.
Show me ball gag.
We surveyed a group of 100 women.
We thought, what can we do next in the bedroom when there's no Netflix and chill? Show me whips and chains.
There we go.
Yeah. I like to, I mean, even the sentence, I like to dominate my women. Can I dominate you?
Yeah. Why didn't you just say that?
Right. Typically not really my jam. Oh, really? But it was like 2 p.m. on a Sunday. 2 p.m. on a Sunday.
That is bold for the
For
first
dominations?
encounter. First encounter.
Yeah, first, I don't know.
After the pool.
Yeah, let's just fucking go down on each other and go back to swim.
The timing doesn't seem.
Get out the pool noodles. We're done. Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah, to me, 2 p.m. Sunday.
Not a time for initial experimentation into BDSM.
I'm even against sex. Oral and back in
At
the
2
pool.
p.m. Okay.
We wait an hour before getting back in, like Mom told
True.
us.
That's true. You don't want to cramp.
Right. And then, like, this is. What else did I have going on? And I said, sure. Keep in mind, I was like 21 years old and super inexperienced outside of drunken one-night stands and boyfriends. So I honestly really didn't even know what this request meant. So he gets super serious and starts slapping me in the face, choking me, holding me down, telling me I was his property and he owned me, et cetera, et cetera. And his dick literally still didn't get hard. That's what's most concerning.
That's the most. I mean, that's a perfect point. Yeah.
Right.
I would be like a little more shook by the other shit that
I'd be
was
like,
going
ow,
on.
my face. I wouldn't be like, is he hard yet? Did it work?
This guy is something.
You're choking. Is he hard? Is it still squishy?
I would have gone. I would have stepped out. at
You would
this
have said,
point. Yeah.
"Time for me to
That's
go."
enough. Yeah. I'm
You
okay.
would take
yeah.
it off the leash.
Yeah. I'll find someone else with a pool.
Right. This is too much for a pool. That's
Right.
This is quite a day. Steve Harvey was laughing at the whole situation in the background.
As he would be.
Always. He ended up shoving and squishing his unfrozen meat popsicle
Show me unfrozen meat popsicle.
into my vagina. And still nothing. This is something that has happened
To him.
to people. The idea of like, let's just go for it, see if it gets hard while we're
Yeah.
putting it in. This
Not
is
happening.
Right. I guess meat popsicle. If someone was like, is the meat popsicle hard yet? That wouldn't help.
Unfrozen.
Yeah, right.
Unfrozen. That means like deflated.
Right.
The squishy member.
Right. If that doesn't help me. We just could not make it work. He decided to give up and start jerking off. That's always the most embarrassing thing. Get away. And you start jerking off.
Yeah.
in the corner.
I mean, again, great story. I would have all these things. I'd just be bouncing. But
There's a point.
I get she's like, I've already put in this time. Maybe we can just
right.
end this normally.
I get why she's still there. I get what he's doing, minus the dominant stuff. Like, there is a point where it's like you can't get hard. You want to get hard.
It's not happening.
You're like, get away and let me do it. It's like you're trying to build a fire, and you're sitting there with the wood, just trying to whittle a boner.
Right. At that point, this can't be that. There's probably more
Right.
negative experience than positive.
At this point, what never happens with these sexual situations is one person being like, hey, it ain't today. Let's
Yeah.
just go and have some Kool-Aid by the pool.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Like we can still have a good day. Like this day is done.
It's over.
He decided to give up and start jerking off and tells me he wants to come in my face. Like, enough's enough, Matt.
She goes, the best is what she says after.
She goes, wants to come in my face.
Sure.
Sure, fine. Do whatever you want,
Whatever.
dominatrix, or whatever.
Just go.
Just where? My cheek? What do you want to do? At this point, I'm more invested in reruns of Family Feud than I am in Matt, so YOLO, do it, dude. Do it, dude. He ended up jerking off his flaccid penis in my face, and I was honestly surprised he was able to finish it all. But he did, all over my eyes and in my nostrils. Yum. That was her. I left that day expecting and hoping never to hear from Matt again, and a couple months go by. Suddenly, one day I get a text from him I didn't expect. He informed me that the girl he was with after me was positive for chlamydia. I looked at the text and was like, damn, this fucking dude. Never ends with this guy.
Not even this guy who couldn't even, yeah.
Right. But I responded letting him know it wasn't from me, but that I was going to schedule an appointment just to double check. And thanked him for telling me. I scheduled the appointment and moved on with my day. A few hours later, he texted me to actually ignore his original message, that she didn't have chlamydia after all. Confused, I asked then how she tested positive. He told me it was actually just a really bad eye infection that resembled chlamydia of the eye.
Well, we know what his thing is.
Right. He's coming in every eye in
Every
the
eye you
whole
can
fucking
find.
triangle area.
Was it all means to just do that?
I don't know. I guess that's
Was that the long game? Jerk
Well,
off on your face?
right. That's what got him to come. You know, that poor girl was probably losing it after having the most bizarre night of her life, only to have a literal doctoral student insisting she had chlamydia of the eye. I was confused about the testing positive language, and he informed me that she tested positive for all the signs he read on Google. Hey,
this
I hope he's
guy.
never my eye doctor.
This fucking guy.
I was shocked that
It's a PhD, not a doctor.
Oh, right, sorry. So he's not my psychologist either. I was shocked that a 28-year-old doctor thought that somehow constituted a positive test, but truthfully never wanted to hear from him again, so I just laughed and blocked him. And no, I will never be able to watch Family Feud ever again. Well, that's the horrific part. Hope this gave you a chuckle. See below for the play-by-play of that final interaction. Jared, I was a teacher briefly, so don't judge me. Ew.
That was for you.
That's the grossest part of this whole email.
Wow. That was a saga.
A
Oh, do you want to
saga.
read the text?
Yeah, we can
have
read the text. I'll
We'll do
be
the
him.
text. All right. Okay.
Hey, do you have a second? This is very important.
It's at 7:55 a.m. Also.
That's when you're Googling eye chlamydia.
10 signs you have eye chlamydia. What's up? School starts in a few minutes.
A girl I was with after you just got tested positive for chlamydia.
It's also like a lie. It's not true.
Right. I'm going to get checked ASAP.
All right. Let me know what happens. You didn't get it from me. Thanks for letting me know.
Not certain I had it when I was with you. Sorry to drop this right before your day starts. Like I said, you might not have it. Good news.
Sorry, go
now
on.
he's back. Good news. But I'd rather make sure it's a good time to talk about this before I send a message to your phone. I just get it out. Just say good news. You don't have it.
Yeah. I have a training today, so I'm not at school. Just let me know whenever.
She didn't actually have any STDs. I'm still getting checked later this week, but I'm pretty certain that I'm clean.
Why would she tell you that then?
She has a serious eye infection.
She's going to lose the eye.
Just knowing that he is texting someone whose eye he has cummed into, that now this new person has an eye infection from what we can only assume is him coming in her eye as
Yeah.
well.
This guy's a mess.
Right. And the doctors kept asking her if she had sex with a new partner lately. She kept lying about it because she's dumb.
Okay.
Okay.
She's dumb?
right.
You just diagnosed her from a WebMD search.
Right. This guy's going around giving out one-eyed willies. All the signs really looked like it was chlamydia, but the cultures came back negative for STDs.
So she told you she had chlamydia in her eye?
I know that sounds ridiculous. But I did a lot of Googling, and she had like 10 out of 10 signs of chlamydia in the eye. Just trust me on this. Trust me on this. Can't even get hard.
Holy shit, LOL. That's so hilarious. You also told me she already tested positive. So, haha.
Well, she tested positive on all signs that I read, just not the final test.
Just not the only test that matters. LOL.
I'm sorry, he writes.
Okay.
Hey, what a. This tells you. Can I just give him a little empathy?
If you
I
must.
know it's hard.
Okay.
Unlike his penis.
Give us the soft version.
Let me give you this the squishy version.
Okay.
This tells you if you can fuck well, you don't have to worry about much else.
Okay.
Like if they had gone in the bedroom and he just fucking crushes it.
Sure.
Comes in, full penis, fucking Steve Harvey in the background.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Like all of this doesn't matter if he makes her come.
Yeah.
It is the unlock. And again, a lot of this sounds bad. Like he doesn't go into the Dom stuff. He does. If he was just like, come to my room, Netflix and chill. Oh, I don't have Netflix. Steve Harvey's on.
Yeah.
If
he didn't have a potential psychosexual disorder.
Right.
Okay.
And then he goes, hey, I kind of like to choke and, choke you. And she's like, okay. And then he like lays the dick down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're getting this email today. We're not getting this email. But then he calls her and goes, and then it comes in her eye. And she goes, like, I think the story's told.
I
like,
think we might still get the email.
You think so?
If he still comes in her eye.
Sometimes I think and I do think like sexual performance, not as regular for men as maybe we would claim or not talk about.
Sure.
Like I think of penises like pitchers in baseball. Like even Pedro Martinez had days that he would pitch and get crushed.
And to me, this is a chronic issue. Otherwise, he had the same thing with the second girl who had the eye chlamydia.
Right. Well, maybe I'm just assuming with the eye, when he, in a world, I could see that he's squishy one day, hard the next. Because I've been in Squish Town, USA.
Sure.
I've been in, back up, I'll do it myself. I've been that guy. And I understand that you're like, how is this working one day and not the next? I'm being as open as I can for the male species.
To me, this is an issue he has frequently. And to him, I would say, get a girlfriend.
Right.
Because if you're on Tinder
right.
and you're trying to do the first day,
if you have
a psychosexual disorder, which it sounds I don't want to diagnose him. It sounds
what's a psychosexual
something
disorder?
with his mind and his penis not like cooperating with each other. Fairly frequently,
that sounds
I assume.
Way more serious. Psychosexual disorder sounds like they should be locked up.
Psychosexual disorder is everything from like can't get hard, can't stay hard, like anything
to
I think
murdering your loved one. This is a wide range.
Anything where like your mind is like affecting your sexual performance.
Okay,
which
understandable.
To me, this sounds a little bit like if that's the case for this guy and he still wants to have sex outside of masturbating, I'd get a girlfriend.
Right, a girlfriend will help him.
Because if you're going to use Tinder and your first meetup is is you using this person to try to figure out what is getting you off, which it sounds like he's doing.
Yeah,
you're gonna get an email about this person.
Right,
find someone you trust to work on your psychosexual disorder with.
You're gonna have more squishy times than hard times.
Yes, in my mind,
I agree with you completely. I think relationships are the place for trusting. I like to do whatever I like to do sex.
Yes.
For him
if he's bringing up the sexual domination on 2 p.m. on the first Tinder date
in their bathing suits.
This isn't the right approach.
Right, in his Umbros.
Yes.
It's like crazy. It is crazy. It's crazy. This is insane.
I agree.
I'm giving feedback, just generally, but it is insane. And like just the idea of him, like, first of all, the hitting is like, come on.
No, yeah. Not an appropriate at this
juncture. In this setting,
yes.
Right. She's looking at his dick. Did the slap get him anywhere? What did you do you have a name for this? I loved Maddie's one.
Maddie's survey says chlamydia was I didn't even feel the need to try after that one.
Survey says squishy.
Survey says.
I like Steve Hardy.
That's very good.
That's
too.
very
yes.
good. That was
more like Steve Softy.
Right.
And then she had Sty.
Sty. One-Eyed Willie.
She's pretty good at these.
Yeah.
She's very good at these.
Let's do
She's
another
like
email.
adding it to the resume.
Named many awkward sexual moments
encounters,
for a
yes.
podcast. Let's do another email.
Yes. Okay. Hi, Jared and Jordana. You guys talk a lot about marriage, kids, and a move to the suburbs as an inevitable trajectory. But I'm curious, what about this future appeals to you? Okay.
A little judgy on this one.
Just a tad. In my friend groups, almost none of us picture ourselves with that outcome. So it's interesting that you guys are so sure in what you want. I'm only 25, which is definitely a factor, but a lot of my friends are in their 30s and 40s, and they feel the same as me. Also, I'm in LA. Yes, I've given and received the LA no many times. Okay.
A reference to a past
episode
episode.
where people seem to grow up a lot slower. People here tend to be extremely career focused as well. Unlike New York, where everyone's just fucking
Right.
around. It's the reputation here, right?
Right.
The
Bunch of lazies.
Everyone in LA is
Right.
in LA. Meanwhile, is known for their
How they're going hard charging Wall Street people. Oh, that's in New York.
Right.
Oops.
the urgency of the kids in suburbs. The kids in suburb timeline is stressed so much on the pod that it would be cool to hear you guys dig deeper into it. Thanks so much for all that you do. Oversharing is also fantastic. Best, a city batch. Listen.
Okay. I like the email because I like a little
Pushback?
pushback.
Sure.
Come at us, bro.
Yeah, we can handle it.
Can handle it. I will say to them that no one has ever sounded more 25 and in LA in an email than we've ever read.
Yeah.
This straw poll that you took of everyone in West Hollywood to wonder
Right.
whether they're ready to move to Orange County is not really going to get you a result that represents kind of the majority,
The
the national average,
average,
right? All my friends named Tulip want to stay in LA.
Are looking for an alternative lifestyle.
Right.
Right.
So I don't know. I understand where they're coming from. I think, the idea, my friends, we all want to stay here. I think at 25, there are thoughts of like, I'll be this city person,
Here's the other thing. If your friends are in their 30s and 40s and hanging out with a 25-year-old, perhaps they're not your most traditional people in their 30s and 40s.
They've made the decision
I
already.
don't have any 25-year-old friends
Right.
besides Maddie, who I
Maddie.
don't think is really my friend.
Are you on Be Real together?
Yeah.
Well, Jordana deleted her Be Real.
You deleted it?
I deleted it the week after because I thought that I didn't understand the purpose, remember?
I was about to join.
Anyway, that's why we're not like I would
Right,
say
right.
to compare if we were very good friends, I might be a very different 30-something-year-old or once you get into the 40s. Like, do you have any friends who are in their 40s?
Maddie just looked at me to see if I was
She's
40 years
like,
old.
If
She
there are
just looked at me
any.
as, you
Yeah.
40?
Yeah, and I mean that's not to say also I think that we aren't in our own bubble, people. Right?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
That's a good point.
I'm not saying that we stand for every person in the country or the world
No.
or anything like that. There's plenty of other people who don't want to move to the suburbs, who don't want kids, who don't want to get married. I acknowledge that.
I guess I was surprised at the tone of this email of how they kind of saw us as people like racing towards the suburbs. I'm 37 years old. I mean, like at this point, I'm at midlife. They say, like for a man, I'm going to die in another 37 years.
That was so depressing.
I'm
No, you're
sorry.
not.
Listen, we're getting towards February 21st. We're almost
leave
out.
us.
Someday I'll be 80 years old doing this podcast,
You gotta
talking about the dating troubles of 80-year-olds.
This makes me want to get you a story worth. I'm getting all anxious.
Don't worry, I'll be here a little bit longer. No, but so the idea that we're like rushing towards, I think it felt a little bit not true.
Right.
But also, I will say,
We're both open to that lifestyle.
right.
More so than we're like frantically, searching for.
Like, get me to Westchester.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here
We're
like
Westchester or bust. Yeah.
But I do understand. Here's the thing that you start to understand from 25, you're amongst all your friends. Everyone goes out. We're all talking about the future in ways that is a dreamer way to look at the future, which I love and I appreciate. And I'm still a dreamer myself.
Right.
Listen, the comedy special that we just taped together, That's a dreamer moment. I'm putting out, we're putting out this material, hoping, the hope in that special is to get so many more fans and people to like this podcast and people to like what, we do and I do and all that stuff. Like, that's a dreamer mentality.
Yeah.
But what you do as you get older is you start to, the pie graph of life becomes about dreams and consequences and, picking and choosing your battles. So I understand if you ask your 20, and I guess forgetting about her 30 and 40-year-old friends, I don't know who she's talking to there. And I would agree with you. That's another like biased poll.
Right.
When you talk to your 25-year-old friends, everyone's going to go, well, maybe I could live in the city. Maybe I could be the couple that has a dog and we could do the strollers outside. And then you get older and you go, I kind of want to be out of the city.
Yeah. And then you see how much a 3-bedroom costs.
In the city.
Yes.
And you go, and when the taxes are what? And where will we put the kids in school?
Right.
And do I want to have kids? Well, now I do want to have kids. Now before I wasn't even thinking about kids. All these things come up as you get older. So I can understand how someone at 25 goes, whoa, you guys were in a rush to get, everyone's going to go. And this happens a lot with like, when you do jokes, because they're generalizations.
Yeah.
So you'll be like,
that's the point of them. Right.
It's the point is to go, there's a lot of people who, and then there's always the worst person to do comedy for is, well, I don't. And it's like, yeah, you can understand you're a little.
Well, then just say this doesn't apply to me and move
right.
on.
I guess you don't relate. You shouldn't laugh at it.
Yeah.
That's your your vote or your non-vote is your laugh. Right. So it is interesting.
That's the issue with the internet and commenting and everything like that. It's like somehow it feels like we've lost the ability to hear something we don't completely agree with or feel the same way with, and then just move on with the rest of your day.
Right. Well, the internet is the place to find your group. Yeah. And you can find any group. So now what we have is like a whole world of like, everyone's mad. And you go, well, who's everyone? And they're like, these 6 people.
Right. Who are screaming the loudest.
Right. And you go, so not that's why we've started saying the number of people messaging us. Right. We have taken a stand against everyone's talking about it. Well, it's very Trumpy. Everyone says it. Oh, well, everyone says it. And people do buy into that because it's an easier narrative than the reality of the narrative of grayness where you marry someone who goes, well, I'm from Chicago and I want to move back to Chicago. And you go, I never thought of myself in Chicago.
Yeah, and that happens with age, with experience, with a long-term relationship. I think your priorities change than from when they are when you're 25. And listen, I'm not going to pretend that our experiences aren't that of heteronormative Jews from New York and Boston.
Yeah, and I grew up in the suburbs. You grew up in the suburbs.
Sure,
I liked that childhood.
Yes.
I want to give that childhood to someone that I want a life for to me, like if I was to get into like deeper the way they want to get deeper personally, I want to give the life that I had to the kids I have.
Right, 'cause you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I think fondly of my life.
Yeah.
I can understand if someone goes, I fucking hated my life out there. That you go, I'm doing doing a little different.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah, I think we speak for ourselves and what we've witnessed around us. And is that going to apply to every single person? No.
I guess that's why this email came off judgy. It's funny if I'm to like think about that. Like, why did it sting a little bit? Which again, inviting pushback, that's okay.
Well, she said, what about this future appeals to you? I think you just gave like several reasons.
Right. I'm like, if you had, it is funny. At 25, you can think like, I have this kind of depressing thought sometimes. Okay. And not that I'm a dreamer still, again, to go back to the dreamer conversation. I'm sure, I would, sometimes I'm like working on the West Side Highway and I see those apartments that are like above the West Side and I'll be at night.
Like in Hoboken?
I do not look at Hoboken while I work out. I keep my back to that side of the river.
Okay.
I'm looking towards Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
And I see there's apartments that are above the field on the West Side Highway, and they're gorgeous. Like, they have garages.
Where the families live, yeah.
And there are families, and you can see, like, the Christmas tree. And I'm like, man, I can't imagine having that much money. Like, I can't. I'm like, and I go, I'm 37. I can't understand what this person does to live on the top floor of this.
With their whole family.
With their whole family. I start doing the math. I know the math more now than I did at 25. So it's a little depressing, but I go, I guess that's never my life, which is fine. But then I think, like, if I had $1 billion, what would I do?
Yeah.
I would buy Twitter and make sure that anyone could say whatever they want. No. No, I
don't.
But that's the thing. Like, that's why I don't understand some billionaires. If I had $1 billion, I'd come here. I'd do the podcast. It'd be a little less relatable,
Perhaps.
right? But I would still like to do podcast.
Yeah,
I would still want to do a
it,
comedy special, right?
Yeah.
Where would I have homes? What would I go? I think I still would want a suburb.
Same. I could think about that too. I think I'd want an apartment in the city.
I'd keep a place.
It was so funny. We did when we bought the lottery tickets this summer when it was like $1 billion and everyone was buying tickets, and we were all talking about,
Yes.
what would we do if we won? What would we do?
Right.
And Mike goes, house in the suburbs, studio apartment in the city, and everyone's like, what? You have $1 billion, you're getting a studio?
That is an accountant right there. That is like, well, we gotta stay if we can afford it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But
Can't do a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. I'd still want the land. Can't really have a private backyard in Manhattan.
I get right, and you would buy yourself time because you'd never take a subway, you'd never take a commercial, you wouldn't fly.
Right.
You'd fly. There are little things in the edges of life, but life would be. And I thought about this when I read this email. I'm like, what would I do with $1 billion? Where would I? How would life change? Not very much, except for bigger and closer to the city, a suburb closer to the city.
And I think if you have, closer to the city, but the same amount, the same niceness as one further away from the city. What was I going to say?
But that's what. Sorry to interrupt. But that's the thing about that. We're literally talking about trade-offs. Like, that's literally the trade-off.
Getting into the
farther,
city. Right,
closer.
yes,
Those are
yes.
trade-offs. These are economic kind of principles.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me, I also think it's better to raise kids in the suburbs. The kids in the city, no offense to kids in the city or people who grew up here, are all kind of assholes. Not to generalize.
No,
why? Because they
they're
have
weird.
$1 billion already.
They're weirdos.
They're very rich.
I used to go to the Starbucks on the Upper East Side. There would be this kid that would show up every day dressed like Paddington Bear. He had like the fucking and he'd like order a coffee. I'm like, where am
He's
I?
ordering a cappuccino at 7 years old. Like,
Yeah, you don't even know how to spell fucking cappuccino. What are you doing, kid?
Yeah, they're getting like omakase.
My wife also grew up in New York City.
Oh,
Your
wow.
wife grew up in Man, I hope your wife doesn't listen to this podcast. We have everything about her. We have bashed.
I'm sure she's down to earth. I'm sure she's down to earth.
Well, you guys rent controlled apartment.
That's true, yeah.
They're living the dream.
Yeah. I mean, if you're lucky enough.
I don't know if we dug in deep into this for this
Yeah,
person,
I
you think?
understand. I also understand why I have friends who don't want to leave the city at 30,
Right.
at 33. They don't want to leave the city because if they work in the city, it's very convenient for them, and they can afford to have large apartments.
Sometimes I feel ridiculous because I even still say, people are like, would you want to live in New York? I'm like, I don't know at this point. What am I do? I still think to myself, like, maybe I'll go somewhere else. You think those
Right.
things. And also, a lot of that is dependent
You'll
on
go to Boca suburbs.
straight to Boca, straight to retirement. A lot of that's dependent on who you're seeing too, like the
Where your
compromises
friends
you
are,
make
yeah.
with your partner that like pushes you in certain directions.
Yeah, and that stuff again, you would have no idea at 25.
No idea. So I understand what they're
Yeah.
like.
So don't be so cocky.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
Red flag deal breaker. Let's do it. Hey, J&J, I'm a new listener. Probably have only heard a dozen episodes or so, but one I was listening to the other day made me think of a particular situation that women I date find themselves in with me.
Ooh.
Not our normal glowing review opening sentence.
Only heard a dozen episodes or so.
We're really in the land of honesty today.
Well, I'm glad we moved him to write in that quickly.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm a normal 30-year-old guy living in Brooklyn, white-collar office job, in a book club.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that necessary?
have a decently decorated apartment. I'm an adult is what I'm trying to get at here.
Does being in a book club make you an adult? I guess.
It makes you a nerd. Thing is, I have a nickname from college that's kind of goofy, and there's a group of my friends who are literally never going to call me anything but that. It's not vulgar or anything, but I do feel like it has the potential to make me seem a little immature. The reason I thought of this is actually because while listening to a recent episode, the word came up, and turns out Jared hates my nickname.
When I read that, I was like, what is it?
Right.
What is it?
I was thinking the same thing. I don't think too much about it, but I thought it could be a lighthearted red flag or deal breaker, just a fun thing to talk about. So J&J is a guy with a stupid nickname, a turnoff. All my love, Tuna.
Tuna.
Oh, man.
Is this Jim Halpert?
Tuna.
Big tuna. Tuna.
That tuna joke on The Office, the legs it got,
Big tuna.
that the fact that he was doing it until literally the final episode of the season is so funny and great.
Tunes.
Big old tuna. He always did it.
Yeah.
Always.
So you meet a girl. Her name's Tuna. All her friends call her Tuna.
Oh no!
All her friends call her Tuna.
No, I guess tuna on a woman.
Her name is like Lauren.
Lauren
and
Tuna.
And all her friends call her Tuna.
What if her name's Tina? And someone
what if her name, yeah.
I don't know if I'm seeing a Tina.
Well, Tina is usually short for Christina.
Right.
Which probably isn't a match for you.
Takes out of the Jewish game. I guess I'd be okay with it. Tuna. I could rationalize it. I could be with a tuna.
Okay.
I do not like tuna.
Well, it's like, okay, so let's say she's called, like they call her Tuna because she loves tuna.
That's the problem.
Okay.
If it was ahi tuna, I'd be okay with it.
It's funny. You and Mike are so similar in that way. When I have my tuna,
He's got to leave the room.
Home, he's like, I cannot even look at this.
Right. The same way.
I think it's so rude. Tuna's great.
I've gotten a lot of tuna feedback. People love it. I get it. If you're a teacher who loves tuna, just never.
And you grew up in the city.
Me. And you grew up in the city.
Does your wife like tuna? Jorge?
His wife.
She like tuna?
Flags all the way.
Oh no.
I like tuna too.
So
not an issue for me.
Okay, let's
bring on the tuna.
Let's
Ahi tuna, tuna sushi, tuna fish. I'll have it all.
Okay, you're dating someone. He's like, I want you to meet my college friends. By the way, they call me Dingleberry. D-Berry for short.
Because that was what, your frat name?
Yeah, there was one day we were at a tailgate and I had to use the bathroom outside and I had all these dingleberries in my ass because I couldn't find toilet paper. Like, it's disgusting.
In isolation, if that's the only thing, everything else, he's like totally this guy says he's in a book club. Mm-hmm. He's got a white collar office job.
Spit out my coffee. Oh, he's in a book club.
He's got a decently decorated apartment. The one kind of childish thing about him is that his friends call him Tuna. Fine. If Tuna is just one of many. If he's Tuna and he's got the basketball lamp next to his bed,
if you're painting a picture of a man child,
and he's buying and selling toys on eBay, then I'm out.
What if his nickname is Fart? Yo, Fart! Hey, yo, Fart!
I don't know.
Toss me the ball.
That's tougher.
Fart's tough.
It is.
Give me some female.
What if her nickname is Fart? What if her
nickname is
a little bit
endearing? Queef. Queef. That's a tough one.
All her friends call her. Women don't do that quite as much.
Right. This is a very guy thing. Women give nicknames to guys they've dated. Like Squishy Peen is definitely
Squishy Member.
Yeah, Squishy Member. I don't know. Like, here's the problem. Here's the issue. You have a funny nickname that your friends all call you. It's only going to affect you on one night of your life. 2 nights of your life.
Okay.
Your wedding weekend.
Yes.
That is the only time, the most public time, because you're going to because it'll never come up again. But you'll have to look at your grandparents going, they call her what?
What? That's true.
Queef? What does that mean? Like, because that's
true.
the only night, because you and them together, but then it is funny, like, you, and I could see that someone is like with a queef. And you get more and more into the relationship. You're like, oh, that's what their friends call you. Then you like get engaged. You're like, we're engaged. I'm so excited. I love this person. Then you're like, oh shit.
Everyone-
Every friend's speech is gonna reference queef.
Then you'd have to get it ahead of it.
You'd have to get ahead of that.
Yeah.
Hey, now you got to be the bridezilla or groomzilla. Hey, it is a.
I would appreciate it in the speech. Maybe just don't mention the queef thing.
I would have to mention the queef thing. As a friend, I would have to mention it.
Okay.
Or at least do like a half reference, like, and good night, everybody. Like, just to fuck with the bride.
A nod would be a good
nod.
enjoyment. Okay,
Yeah.
I give it a red. I'd say it's a red flag.
It's a red
for me.
flag. I'm okay with it. Okay.
Hi, Jordan and Jared. Love the pod. It keeps me sane, and I've sent episodes to friends who have had relatable dating scenarios. Here's a good red flag or deal breaker from my recent experience with a guy I was friends with benefits with for a few months. He sexts you while you were waiting at the hospital during your dad's major heart surgery that has a 50% survival rate. And the guy knows that you're at the hospital. When you ask him about the sex later, he says that he thought it would cheer you up because sexting always cheers him up when he's sad. Excited to hear what you all say about this one. LOL. It sounds like a guy named Tuna. A hard to get batch. P.S.
Is he alive?
The surgery went well, although my friends with benefits didn't. I'm glad that the surgery went well. This would be a much more depressing email.
I'm so hard right now.
What?
I hope Dad's okay.
They're gonna take him off life support.
I'm touching your nipple.
Oh Yeah.
It's so insane.
What would be his mindset there?
I think he's confused sad for like scared and horrified
Yeah.
and upset.
It always
Like
cheered me up.
Right. This isn't like a bad day.
Yeah.
Well, will this penis make you feel better? Like
Right. Clearly hasn't read the situation correctly. I'd be out. I agree with her. It's over.
I am never surprised by the stupidity of men because I am stupid.
What if it was you? It's your dad's major heart surgery. You're in the hospital. She's like, I'm not wearing anything right now.
I wouldn't be offended by it.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't be like, you're not thinking of my needs right now. I'd be like, you're thinking of needs.
Just
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, there's a way to do this that isn't as abrupt as what this guy's done. Like my dad's in the hospital.
She's currently at the hospital.
I'm at the hospital. I'm trying to
If it-
imagine.
if
And
it was
God
like-
forbid this happens. I
if
love
it-
my family. I don't want any death. I don't want any sickness.
If it was that he had been in the hospital and she's home, he knows she's at the hospital.
Right. So I guess my text to you, if we play this out.
Sure.
Hey, sorry I haven't texted back. My dad had a heart thing. He's in the hospital. It's about 50-50 right now. I just wanted to let you know. I'm going to be a little bit off the grid. It's just been really tough right now.
What are you wearing?
They had us all put on gowns because of, COVID is still kind of a priority at the hospital. So we're all in these kind of like gowns with masks and
Oh, easy access. I'm so wet right now.
easy access to what? I don't know if I'm following here.
I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, I guess there's no good way of getting into
No,
it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd
Be
be.
a no from me.
Well, here's what I would know as a guy, and I'm sorry to be.
Let's hear it.
I would go. We don't have to be serious. Like I can. This is
Okay.
a casual.
Yeah.
I can now have an out. She can't
Sure.
be like, I thought we were serious. I'd be like, you texted me a sex during my dad's almost
Right.
death.
What
Like,
implied serious? to you
right.
about
What?
that?
Yeah. Right. So I guess that's a way out. Let's do one more. You ready?
Okay.
What a great episode. If I can say this right
Great
now.
red flag or deal breakers.
Great
this
red
week.
flag deal breakers, great emails, good banter. If
You've had it all.
You've had it all. If you're listening right now and you're enjoying this fine podcast, share with a friend, a coworker.
5 stars.
5-star reviews. Jordana reads every
I'll read
review.
every single goddamn review.
Go
So,
subscribe on YouTube. We got one more red flag deal breaker. Tell someone, send it to whoever friend, parent is in the hospital instead of a fucking
Yes. Sex.
eggplant emoji.
I really enjoyed this one.
J&J, huge fan, longtime listener, benefit subscriber, 2 times live show attendee. This is, woo,
They
love
are
it.
in.
The trifecta. Y'all have seriously kept me and my friends going. Thanks 1 million for the advice and laughs. We owe you more than you realize. No, we owe you.
Yes.
Anyways, this is my first time writing in. The group is split nearly 50-50 on this.
Wow.
Okay. Judge J&J to the rescue. Red flag or deal breaker, he texts like he's a wannabe cool, but not actually cool dad trying to relate to his tween children. Context, he's 34, 32-year-old female, matched on Hinge, had a great banter. He's cute, great job, age appropriate. I was legitimate.
Age appropriate.
I was, she knows how to, is she sexting
Hot.
us?
Hot.
Looks good in a suit, has a great job, has health insurance.
Set up the date over 24 hours in advance.
Right. I was legitimately excited to go out with him this week. We took the convo to text to plan the date, and all of a sudden his text personality shifted, which resulted in the below screenshot. He did not talk like this on Hinge.
Let's do the screenshot
Okay,
first.
let's do it. Ready?
This is-
I'm him. I don't even know if I could read this.
This is so funny. I was like laughing.
I can't believe he would not like this on Hinge. Like,
He
how
was
do you?
not right.
It's like
Was it someone else running his Hinge for him?
right? Right?
Well-
Was it a bot?
You guys will hear.
Okay, here's him. Awesomeness. And are you also in Santa Monica?
I am in Ocean Park. Where in Santa Monica are you?
Oh, noise. Samesies here. How does a wine bar sound?
Sounds great. Can normally wrap up by 6:30, so flexible on timing.
Dopeness and coolness. I usually wrap up around then too. So maybe we can meet at 7:30.
Sounds good to me. Want to do bodega?
And you absolutely read my mind. Bodega would be bodacious.
Is this Andy Bernard?
I mean, I'm okay with bodega would be bodacious. The wordplay's fun.
One of these I could get over.
Right. Noise. Noice. It's written. We have to put this on the Instagram.
100%.
Noise.
This is horrifying. Do you think he's
Dopeness.
fucking with her?
I don't know. I mean, to have such a switch, dopeness and coolness.
In the same text. He's also not reading the room.
No,
She's not-
he's at an 11 and she's at like a 6.
She's like all logistics. At this
Right.
point, she's like, maybe if I just speak normally, he'll catch on. It's not working out.
I don't understand.
Bodacious.
Bodacious is to the point where you're like, is he fucking with
That's
me?
what I'm saying.
Right. You
Is he
get to
on
that
something?
point, what's
Right.
going on here? Is
Yeah, he's just acting like goofy.
he trying to turn you off?
I would be like, what's up with all the the slang?
Would you write to them? Is this the same person? I don't know if I would. I understand because
think when
she's
I
so
was-
logistical.
When I think I would go on the date, and on the date I'd be like, you have to say you text very different than you were on the app. What's going on with that?
Right? I guess you have to acknowledge it.
I mean, it's so weird. Why would he be doing that?
I guess I would even go more specific. I'd be like, do you use bodacious in text a lot?
And dopeness?
That sentence doesn't even make sense. It's dopeness, exclamation point, and coolness, comma. I usually wrap around then too. So maybe we can meet at 7:30. The punctuation. He's doing punctuation.
I feel like he's trying to be weird.
She writes, I have the ick so hard I want to cancel the date. Half my friends think I should. Others think I should give him a chance. I mean, come on, dopeness and coolness. Why do we need both? And I might being too harsh, but he's 34. Would love your thoughts.
The way she described it is exactly right. He texts like a dad trying to be like cool.
Curfew's at 11:30. Hope that's bodacious with you,
Right?
gals. Yeah.
Does he have a child that he asked to text you for him?
Well-
just tell her I'll be there at 7:30. Dopeness.
It's a little Phil Dunphy. If we're gonna go back to
And
like
Andy Bernard.
sitcom, it's Andy. Andy Bernard goes one of two ways: like fun husband, great dad, or total douchebag. I don't even know if he relates to any human
Right.
on earth.
Absurd.
And Phil Dunphy is like the version of Andy that you'd want to be with. Fun dad,
Right.
you know. That's the direction that this could go. I'm not a give him a shot person, but I am in this scenario.
If he was texting her normally on the app, maybe he's just on something. I don't know.
What would he be on? That's even worse. That's
Yeah,
like the
that's
worst
true.
case
Yeah.
scenario.
I don't know. I think I would probably go because they already have it set up. But I would bring it up.
You got to bring it up.
Yeah.
And you bring it up.
I'd also see what he speaks like in person. If he says any of these words in person to your face, I'd be out.
What do you want? Vodka soda, awesomeness, and dopeness.
Awesome blossom, extra awesome.
Right. Yeah, I would go on the date. What she should do is go on the date, start using this language to him.
Yes. See how he responds.
Just what do you want to drink? Oh, I'll have a vodka soda. Be pretty awesomeness, pretty bodacious of you, and then see if he like responds to that.
I would like an update on this.
I would love an update. I think she has to go.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's probably been a few weeks. So
Right.
I think she's probably already gone or hasn't
Right.
gone. But please let us know. I really would like an update from you and the whole crew.
Absolutely. Well, we solved dating again, Jordana.
We did it. Very proud of us.
We did it in under.
82 minutes.
There we go, as we do.
Yes.
So-
Just look at us in and out.
We will be back on Sunday with another Sunday special, and that's it for us.
See you then. Bye. The U Up podcast is produced by Sean Kilby, Maddie Paul, and Jorge Morales Pico. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico. Social media by Maddie Paul. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.